Hello, everyone. Good morning. I am Mahbub, host of today's session, Meet the Global Leader. The objective of this session is to share the story of international practitioners or professional, to share their journey of their professional career, and it actually creates an awareness among students who are studying in university because they are the main audience of this program, and it is to show them how people from different countries and professionals from different countries are doing things, and the less professional lessons from their experiences, and some advice for them what they can do before graduation, what skills they can develop. So today we have invited Ms. Kiran. She is the co-founder of Leadership Card and founder of Give Back to Community Trust. Not only that, she has an impressive career journey. So we'll delve into those experiences and stories. So, Ms. Kiran, welcome to our session.
Hello, thank you so much for inviting me, and hello to everybody in Bangladesh from Malaysia. My name is Kiran Sandhu, and I would like to take this opportunity also to thank the School of Entrepreneurship Development for inviting me to share my learnings, my journey, my struggles more than my successes, which have been part of my entrepreneur journey. So, thank you so much for having me on this show today.
Great. So can you share a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I have been, my name is Kiran Sandhu. Currently, I am saying hello to all of you from Malaysia. Born in Nepal, studied in India as well as New Zealand. And this has, and I am the founder of Leadership Card, which is a training, coaching, and mentoring organization. The mission of this organization is to have a tribe of leaders who believe in unlocking their hidden potential. And I'm also the co founder of a non-profit organization which is supporting underserved children, primary school children in rural India, because I believe that technology is a empowerer. It can help us to bridge the educational gap that exists in our community. So, this is a little brief about myself, and more I will share as we talk about it on this show.
Great. So how was? Can you go back to your student life? How was your student life? What did you do apart from your study that actually helped you developing some skills?
Okay, thank you so much, Maktum, for asking this question. I'm going to focus on this university patch of my life. Um, as I said, that my schooling was in Nepal, but the university part was first in India, in Bombay, and then from there I went to New Zealand, Auckland University, to study at the School of Social Sciences. So, in terms of my educational background, I have done my master's in education. I also have a master's in social sciences and also a bachelor's in political science. So, there were different elements in my educational sphere. But what was, other than the educational part, what was interesting was that I became part of different social organizations, and I think that it's very important that we're constantly going outside our sphere of learning to meet people outside. So I became part of social groups which were like Rotary, the Indian Association when I was in New Zealand, because that gave me to be part of the Indian community which was in New Zealand. And in these organizations, I took up roles of in leadership positions so that I could actually, sharpen my leadership skills. I could sharpen my communication skills, because in this world, which is constantly changing, what we study is one part, which is going to be our expertise. But what is going to help you grow is going to be your people skills. And when you work in different communities, whether they are whatever is of interest to you, what it could be, work on people skills such as your communication skills, work on your harnessing your leadership skills, work on giving back to the community in meaningful ways, because those are the meaningful things that you will, which will help you to develop your personality, which will help you in your resume, which you send to organizations, because they will see that you are not just a person who has theoretical knowledge, but you're a person who has gone outside the sphere to develop your soft skills. So I think it's very important that you take opportunities which are outside your area of study to further develop yourself.
Wonderful. And like you've been mentioning soft skills, people skills, leadership skills, communication skills. So we will discuss a bit in details, because like anyone exploring any sector, like professional or entrepreneurial sector, there are some certain skills everyone should have. So we will also details. You're also a communication coach, so we will also know in details later. So after finishing your graduation,
Mhm.
and how did you start your professional career?
Okay, so that's really interesting. So you see, whatever you think in life, it never happens. So when
I think in most cases.
that's true, right, Madhya? So I was in New Zealand where I was studying political science, and I wanted my job. The ideal job that I wanted to do was become join the UN and be part of policy making. But it so happened that I met a person, my spouse, who's actually from Malaysia. So I had to relocate to Malaysia, where here it became that I couldn't go into the political sphere because I was not Malaysian. So you have to be ready for uncertainties. So my career, which was going to be more into policy making, navigated, luckily, again, as I said, my bachelor's was in politics and education, and then my first master's was in politics. I was able to jump back to my bachelor's degree, latch onto that, and then when I came to Malaysia, started my career in the university and in the School of Language and Communication with Swinburne University of Technology, which is an Australian-based university, which has its off campus in Malaysia. So it was so unpredictable that was it something that I had planned? No. But I think that the key to our journey has to be we have to be ready for uncertainties, and we have to be ready to be adaptable to the situations that come. So I think that that's the key that comes out of this whole thing, that be ready, because professional and constant be ready to learn and keep growing, because you never know what is going to be the next change that is going to come. And if you want to be relevant and if you want to stay in the game, you've got to be adaptable so that you can navigate that dark hole and come out of it successful.
Definitely, but there is a I'm think relevant journey of yours. You started your career as a like in teaching profession, and
Yeah.
now you are a coach. You
Yeah.
train people. So
Yeah.
the main factor is you are in the profession of teaching. So that you mentioned before, that you didn't plan that. So
Yeah. Yeah. So
when you
it's
started, yeah, sorry.
yeah, that's quite interesting. So I'm just going to say that my entrepreneurship journey was accidental, right? Accidental, unplanned, and there's never the right time. In fact, I was just reading this book this morning, and I would highly recommend it to all our listeners today also, which is called The 4 Hour Work Week. And in this, the author says that he asked his mother, when did you decide to have me as a baby? And she said, we were thinking about it for some time, but there's never the right time to have a baby. So we just decided to have one. Similarly, there's never the right time to start your entrepreneurship journey. If you think that it is the right time, then don't wait for everything in the equation to be perfect for it to happen. So my journey actually, which I said accidental, happened where, let me share a short little story. I was very comfortable in my teaching profession in the university, and as a foreigner, so I was doing really well. I would say, you would understand, we give our teacher evaluations. I was getting very high teacher evaluations. Everything was going perfect. And I get a message from my head of department to come over to see her. And I thought that, okay, that's going to be the next job promotion that I'm getting, or it's the next role that I might be taking. And I was quite surprised that when I walked into that office, I was informed that my contract would not be renewed. And they said it wasn't that there was any problem with my me as a lecturer. It was just that the university was downsizing, and they were letting go of foreign lecturers. Now, that came quite as a shock to me because I was not ready for a change in my career. And they gave me 3 months, because that was the time period which they give you so that you can wrap up whatever needs to be done and move out. I had the choice at that time that, am I going to be thinking about what next, in terms of being sulking, or am I going to take some action about it? And I had 3 months, because it's also about your sanity of your mind that you need, that you are feeling stable, secure as you move forward. So I immediately said, okay, I want to be my own boss, where I don't have to have that feeling that somebody can decide that they want to let go of me. The terms and conditions are in their hand. It has to be me deciding what is my job, how many hours I want to put into this job, what kind of work do I want to do, who am I going to be supporting. And I realized that my passion lied in education. So I immediately, while still working with the university, started my side hustle business, which was starting off with one of the first edu entertainment centers in Malaysia, which was to set up in a shopping mall, and an entertainment center where we had all the play areas, because I believe that even as adults we love playing, but this is actually, I was catering to the younger audience, but at the same time have educational programs so that these kids would be having the best engagement, they would develop their curiosity. And so I developed on the concept of play and learn, and I created my center, which was one of the first in East Malaysia in the year 2012. And even before I left the university, when I was told to leave, was I sad? I was actually thinking, I'm glad that this happened, because if I had not been shown the door, I would have probably been doing the same thing, and my entrepreneurship journey would have never started. So I think that sometimes when challenges happen, it is how we look at it and take the decision. Is it going to make me, or is it going to break me? I think that's where my journey was accidental, but it was great, because it started my journey as an entrepreneur, which then COVID happened and we had to close the shopping malls. Now, what was the skill that I know best? I love training. I love being with people, and education is still at the core. So I decided, okay, why do the physical boundaries have to limit us? The world is our oyster, and the virtual platforms are thriving. So invest in learning and development and move your model, which was physical, to online, and immediately the transition happened. So that's where I went into training and mentoring and coaching into the virtual platform. So I think that every time there was a challenge, there was a new growth opportunity that came my way. Thanks, but
No, that's really impressive and pretty common to all who actually has tried things that actually they're passionate about. So basically, the thing is, what I was trying to connect is you are always, sharing information, sharing your knowledge, sharing your expertise, and is let people equipped with information and knowledge is very powerful, and it's actually changed people's lives. So
absolutely.
um, like the thing that you mentioned is either you break it or you make it. So the point is, as you were teaching student, how did you see, like the students, I mean, if you share some examples of students who are not only studying but also doing things apart from their study and develop some skills, and if you can share a few examples that what actually is the difference between students of a developing country or international student.
Um, can I get this question again? Sorry, Mangan.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can.
sure. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, yeah. When you were teaching, so there
Mm-hmm.
were students. So if you share few examples of successful students, one,
Mm-hmm.
two, or three, or a group of students who did like maybe startup or entrepreneurship or volunteering activities apart from their study,
Mm-hmm.
and that actually helped them, like grow after their graduation. So if you have know few examples of that.
Absolutely. So, as a lecturer and a teacher myself, I was so blessed that I was part of a program which was called Innovation and Change, and that was a great program because this particular program was a very hands-on um, course that had been designed by the university, where we encouraged students to come up with new innovations. And I think that that was the key part where they were, whenever we got students and if they took an innovation and they could actually develop it into a prototype and then share those ideas with a bigger population. I think, and we as a university also gave them that opportunity by having those exhibitions, those fairs where the students could look for seed funding. So I do remember I don't remember the conversion, but the opportunity was always there. And we did have students who would always, a few of my students who took that decision that they wanted to do more than what was given to them. They were always more successful in converting and developing in their own skills. I think that's the most important thing, because every time you might not get success, you might not be remembered because it might just happen in the university. But even in the university, if you take up challenges which is just more than going to school, attending those lectures and coming back, you take that opportunity of investing in the university student activities, you take part in the school student radio, you take part in the cultural programs. Each of these activities are help you in your personal development. So I think it's very important. I can't remember any immediate success story, but I would say that all of those who took that step were definitely people who stood out for the lecturers, or even for those people who came during those job interviews that were organized. They would always be able to get better opportunities.
Wonderful. So, can you share a little bit about the story of the leadership card and like give back to community trust, and how these two organizations are creating impact in people's
Mhm.
lives or in the community? If you share about that.
Okay, so as I started off by saying, Anglum, that Leadership Card, I'm going to talk about first, is an organization which is a training, coaching, and mentoring organization. And we believe that each one of us is a leader. Each one of us is a leader if we believe that we have the leader. So our motto and mission is to unlock your hidden potential, because all what we have is within us. It's about developing self awareness. The impact that we have created is that in the last a year, 2 years, we have trained over 10,000 people. And it works with the mindset that if you start believing that you are a leader, you start making positive changes within yourself, then your organization, and then into the community. So the goal is to create a tribe of leaders. That is about leadership card. When it comes to give back to community, now give back to community is working with underserved children in rural India. And again, here I believe that we are working on future leaders, because children, if we give them the resources that can make them as if we can give them the resources that can help them to become global citizens, then they can actually create meaningful impact in the community. So in terms of my ideology, it's about creating a tribe of leaders. So it's both, whether it's the future leaders or our current leaders, and believing that each of us has the potential to be amazing, and it's all within us. And in with leadership, with the my foundation, which is the as the founder of Give Back to Community, what we do is there's a model where we adopt rural government schools, and we equip them with digital infrastructure so that children below the age of 10, 50, the UNESCO has actually said that 50 to 60% of children don't have the capacity to read and write, even when until the age of 10. So what we are trying to do is help these children to learn faster, and technology is an empowerer and enabler, as we know. So that helps them to learn these basic skills at an accelerated rate. We adopt these government schools, give them the digital infrastructure, give the teacher training, and from there we are, in the last 1 year, we have touched close to 2,500 children who are directly benefiting from the inclusion of technology in their learning.
That's really impressive. That's really impressive. And this is actually very, you see, like teaching, uh, like spreading information and knowledge
Mm.
is itself a human work. I mean, like it's impactful work. And whatever you do, you see, like there are so many ways. Like you can create impact sitting anywhere and spreading knowledge and information. So this is very yeah.
Add on to this, for example, there are so many students who are from across the globe who reach out to me and say, how can we volunteer? Now, so that it doesn't mean that you have to volunteer by being on the ground. That would be one option. So a student from America reached out to me saying, I want to contribute to community development. How can I do that? And I said, what are the skills that you are good at? He said 11th grader, and he said, okay, I'm good at maths and chess. I said, perfect. So why can't would you like to run a small class virtually teaching underserved community children chess? Now that's a skill, and it doesn't have to be related to anything else. It's what you are good at doing is what you can contribute at. So I think that giving time is the same thing. If we time is the most precious asset, and if we can give time to the development of others, it can help us in our growth. So we don't have to wait for, oh, I have to go
Yeah.
and physically labor in a hospital, or I need to go and work in the library. There are multiple ways. There's fundraising. There are multiple ways, and virtual platforms are aggressively also wanting to I have a lot of people who say, I'm good at digital marketing, digital content creation. I said, would you like to volunteer certain hours? Absolutely. You can create content for the NGOs. So it doesn't really matter what you where you are based, but if it's, and again, I have a person who is currently in a remote little town in India, and he is when he started off, he wanted to help with the community, and he said, I don't know much. I said, well, will you like to make some content for our posters? And today, that creating just social media posters has resulted in this person become going full time into social media content creation and creating a job out of it. And now he says, I can support my family. I didn't have to leave my remote little village, and I have clients who are from across the globe. So it's all about how we see the situation. Are our physical boundaries limiting us in our growth? So
Definitely.
I
And um, maybe I'm not, am I right or wrong? I don't know. But this is actually, like I have the skills, and if I'm good at communication, that
Mhm,
I will find the right tools and right way to communicate to the people I want to give my message.
mhm.
So here comes, like like in job application, or in
Yeah.
most cases we are good at writing so many skills which we are
Mhm,
not good at.
mm,
So people write very few common skills like leadership skills, communication skills, just if I put out of others.
mm.
So what is communication skills to you, and why it is so powerful, and in most cases people don't see it. So for example, if I as I have just mentioned, like you have the skills, you have the information, you have the knowledge and expertise. How you are going to communicate with the right group of people, it is also a communication skill. So what is to you, like if you can give like in details, so not in details, share your expertise on communication skills and leadership skills, and why it is important, how students can develop these two skills when they're a student, and why it is so important for them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I have to say that if you connect with me on LinkedIn, even my board says that speak to be heard because your voice matters. And this is my quote that I have about speaking up. A lot of us hold ourselves because of our internal fears that if I speak up, we've been conditioned in our communities not to speak up. But today, there is a need for us to start speaking up to be heard so that we can claim our rightful position where we want to be. Now, this again has two areas that immediately come into. One is communication skills and leadership skills. Now, leader, if I want to, all our students who are listening to us and every single individual to know that we all have a leader within. It's just that we need to start believing that we are a leader. A title or a position doesn't decide that you are a leader. It is when we can lead ourselves to lead a better life, to make positive changes in the life of the people around us, and if we can make an impact in the community, we definitely can consider ourselves as a leader. Now, how can students develop? Because we might have students who say, I'm an introvert and I can't speak up confidently. So, how can I be a leader and how can I communicate my thoughts? Or how will I get a job that is going to, pay me just, but I'm shy? There is no, we all have a mixed bag of people in this world. We have introverts and extroverts. It's good to know what is your strength. Even introverts can be great communicators. if you decide that you have to communicate because your otherwise someone else is going to take credit for what you have done. There is ample resources that are out there. You don't have to be practicing your communication skills in front of others. There are safe platforms such as Udemy and Coursera, where what you have learned in your lecture rooms will be substantiated by what is the need in the market. I have a lot of free courses about business communication on Udemy, which you can just enroll. It's like 30, 40 minutes, which will have tips and strategies that you can learn yourself how to communicate. But it's about our mindset. It's about us having to break this mindset that am I confident to be doing it? Where does confidence come from? Confidence comes from consistency, and nobody can take that away from you. If you are consistent in practicing, repeating, doing those drills, role playing of how you should be sharing your message with, and start now in the university, in your presentations, practice, drill, get your teammates to be with you so that they can give you feedback. Be open to learn. When people criticize it, don't take it as a negative thing. Take it as again as an opportunity to learn. So communication, as I say, is you learn, speak up because you have to be heard, and you need to harness this skill by practice, practice, and practice. So when we speak more confidently, our inner leader starts feeling that I have a voice in that room, and that will give you more confidence to be able to share your thoughts with others. So I think just practice your skills continuously, enroll in programs. There are so many public speaking programs. I would highly recommend, if you're in the university and if you have a Toastmasters club, join it. You may fail, you may stagger, but it is a safe community which will help you to overcome your communication challenges.
Wonderful. And like it is also like kind of visual that how you also react is also a communication skill. How you
Absolutely.
show. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our
uh,
verbal, I mean, what is communication? It's the verbal and non-verbal
yeah.
behavior towards, and what is communication? For me, I won't just say it's a two-way interaction. Communication happens when what I say has been understood by you. That's one part of it. But the second element of communication is what I have said, you have understood and able to take action based on it. So here, it's not about the fluency. It's not about, oh my God, I have this ornamental, beautiful words coming from the thesaurus. Keep your language as simple as possible.
Yes.
I would also say one more thing. We have wonderful AI tools such as ChatGPT. Utilize these tools to come up with scripts which you can practice, which will help you with developing your communication skills. There's no harm. We are in that age where we are, if we don't embrace technology, we will not be able to communicate our thoughts in the current times.
Definitely, and it is the main thing that for every situation, in most cases we are responsible for it, because the thing that you have mentioned, how you react to the situation is
Mm.
important. So anything can happen, we have to embrace any
Yeah,
situation tactfully.
yeah.
So can you share a little bit about the difference between a trainer and a coach?
Okay, so there is a big difference between, well, one is there is a difference between a mentor and a coach. A mentor is someone who shares their experiences with others. A trainer is primarily there to train you in skill development. A coach is somebody who invites you, creates a safe space, but one encourages you to solve your problems yourself. So I think that's the key difference, where mentors share their experiences to help you grow, trainers do the same thing, whereas coaches create an environment where you yourself are responsible for your struggles and you come up with the answers to your own struggles.
Great. So can you share from your real life experiences, if you, whenever you feel any obstacles or challenges, how do you overcome through that situation?
Okay, so I have to tell you that whenever big challenges used to come, we normally go into that dark hole. So it's important that you understand that how do you how do you deal with stress, right? Um, I I think in now, if all of you read this report, which is by the World Economic Forum, report 2023, it talks about the top core skills that people need to develop in order to be relevant in the next decade. And the top skills that are coming up, which would be analytical skills, creative skills, resilience, flexibility, and most important, number four, is self-awareness. So what I started off by sharing at leadership card, a lot of us are not self-aware of our own behavior, our own reactions. And it's important that if you become more aware of your own reactions, you would be able to navigate them better. Tools, you need to, I would highly recommend our students who are listening to probably take a self-assessment tool, such as a personality assessment, to understand what is your personality. I am a DISC trainer, which is DISC. There are other tools, personality tools, which will help you to understand how do you react to situations. And with that self-awareness, you will then be able to see how can you overcome your challenges more carefully. So my for me, my self-awareness exercise actually started during COVID times, when we were all in lockdown. Here I started journaling my thoughts. So there are multiple tools that can help you in understanding what your thoughts are, how do you behave, and how can you overcome these challenges. So I think self-awareness is going to be the game changer. And journal your thoughts. When a situation or a crisis situation comes, I put it into three categories. I write the situation as it is, literally, all the words that were said to me also. And then I write it on the second side as how did I react? So that means, like, how did I feel emotionally about it? And the third section is, how can I convert this challenge into an opportunity? So if it's bad feedback, how can I take that feedback and convert it into a positive amp? So I think it's about constantly being aware that we can get hurt, we can be sad, we can be negative, but we need to convert our challenges into opportunities. So it comes from self awareness. Take those tools, those self assessments, that will help you greatly.
Yeah, self exploration is important, because when people do this kind of test, they'll find out what they are good at. They can then like select what or sector they should explore. And this is very important, because because of social medias and students, most of the cases they actually are involved with which are not fruitful, and wasting their time in unproductive activities.
Mhm.
Okay, it's good, but like sometimes they should be self-aware about themselves, about
Yes.
their career, about. So, keeping that in mind, in that as note, so we are almost at the end of our session. But um, like you have been working in professional sector. You have been, like engaging with people. So, how do you see that? Like you mentioned that the future skills. that people should develop. So for students, what are the skills according to you they should develop who are currently students studying in university
Yeah.
before graduation, so that after graduation in most cases like in Bangladesh, it gets difficult to find a
Mm.
job or
Yeah.
start a business initially after graduation.
Mm.
So if they develop some skills
Yeah.
when they are a student, it will be really helpful for them. So can you suggest, based
So
on your experience, some skills for them?
So I would definitely say number one is communication skills. Enroll yourself into a communication course or a Toastmasters or a, start anything that is going to help you with your written as well as verbal communication. So that's the first skill that I will highly recommend our students to invest time in. The second skill is going to be technological literacy, and that's not just scrolling the Instagram, but actually investing in learning these AI tools so that they can help you with your, whether it's with your job searches, whether it's going to be with your entrepreneurship ideas, but be more technologically savvy so that your physical location of Bangladesh does not stop your growth. And the third point that I would definitely say that the skill that you need to be developing as a student should be um, well, curiosity and lifelong learning is also something, but what does it even mean, curiosity and lifelong learning? Is that the skill of probably taking out 15 minutes or 20 minutes every day to invest in reading a book or hearing a podcast or um, or doing something other than what you normally would do. So I think be more curious, be a lifelong learner. If you can just imbibe these activities in your day-to-day growth, you will realize that you think university is the end of your learning. It's not. If you want to be ready for the future, you need to invest in learning every single day. So that's what I would be saying. The top three skills is communication skills, number two, technological literacy, and number three, being curious and a lifelong learner.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, they should study. This is their main and primary responsibility. Study about themselves, study about future, what's coming,
Yeah,
and what are the opportunities. So learning, studying things and doing research is very important. So
absolutely.
Mr. Thank you so much. I mean, within this short time, through your professional journey, we have tried to create an awareness among students that how people their people's professional journey and how they do things, why they're doing things, and advice on some skills. On behalf of School of Entrepreneurship Development, we wish you very best of luck of what you are doing, and we will share the message of yours, the impact you are creating in the society, and students who have watched and are going to watch it, it's definitely a message to them is they should learn themselves, they should love themselves, and they should explore what is good for them or what is coming in the future. Then they can, based on those informations, they can decide which in which way they can explore their professional career.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this. Before we end, I'll just add on one thing that please
Yeah.
do connect with me, those who are listening on LinkedIn. And why did I say LinkedIn? Reason is all of you that are in this are in university. If you haven't yet created a LinkedIn account, it is important that you invest in creating a LinkedIn account now, because that is one platform, social media platform, which you will need to show the future audience about your growth, which started in the university itself. So start sharing posts about your work in the university so that the world outside already knows you and your work even before they come. So I look forward to connecting with all of you on LinkedIn, and you share a connect request so that any other questions, I'd be more than happy to help and answer.
Definitely. That's Rodas, if you have any questions you want to ask particularly, you can connect with Miss Kiran through LinkedIn, and it's a different world.
Absolutely.
If you go to LinkedIn, you can meet anyone, uh, but through online, maybe in connection, or you can see their activities, their philosophy, how they have doing things. It's a very wonderful place to learn and connect. So thank you again, Miss Kiran, and wish you very best of luck and have a good day. Thank you for your insightful session.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Bye.